Broadcasting from our New England studio, Solutions Review is excited to showcase ourselves in the Solution Spotlight, an inside look at enterprise technologies.
I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and welcome to this special Solution Spotlight focused on how to build a powerhouse enterprise technology YouTube strategy. For most B2B companies, YouTube is a digital archive, a parking lot for old product demos, outdated commercials, and podcasts that get minimal views. It is a strategic and brand liability, and yet Gartner's confirmed that YouTube is the #1 social platform B2B buyers use to inform their purchase decisions. Your buyers are actively searching for answers, solutions, and expertise, and your video strategy matters more than ever. So today, we'll talk with the experts at Solutions Review about how we built the 1 million subscriber Insight Jam YouTube channel in less than 2 years, and give you 5 tips to include in a YouTube strategy. And joining me for the conversation today are my colleagues, Jonathan Paula and Ryan Dalley. Guys, thanks for being here.
Absolutely, Doug. Good to be here.
Thanks a lot, Doug.
Well, so I know both of you as we've been working together for years, but before we get started, it'd be great if you could just share a little bit more about yourselves and what you're doing here at Solutions Review. John, why don't you go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Doug, you and I first connected almost 10 years ago because I think you had the foresight to understand that the future in enterprise tech was online video. And when we first met in 2016, I had been doing YouTube full-time for almost a decade at that point. I've been working with you ever since. And after COVID, we had, I think, a pretty big pivot when we realized we were not going to be able to cover on-location events anymore. And we needed to figure out a way to pivot to the virtual. We came up with the Solution Spotlight series, and that's kind of been the bread and butter of what I do here ever since.
Yeah, so I'm Ryan Dalley, producer for specifically the Insight Jam channel here at Solutions Review. Started almost a couple of years ago now here. Before that, got my start. I was working in Los Angeles for a while in post-production, working on features, music videos, documentaries, things like that. And then for a long time in scientific publishing. After that, at a company that similarly recognized the importance of video. And we were producing, probably about anywhere up to 1,000 videos in the pipeline at the same time. So a lot of experience with videos at volume.
Yeah, no, and honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do all that we've been able to do without the both of you. It is maybe lesson number one is you do need to find very talented people in order to develop a proper YouTube strategy. But I mentioned in my intro, and I want to hang on one other piece of information from Gartner, is how respondents, again, at a more recent Gartner survey, this was just earlier this year, how respondents consider trust as the source of information provided. And again, once again, YouTube is far and away the most trusted social media source for information for B2B buyers. And so obviously we want to dive into why we think you should be doing YouTube well, but also how we went about doing YouTube well. So let's start there. Want to talk a little bit about when we sat down and decided to build this particular YouTube channel. So we'd launched the YouTube channel for Solutions Review, John, back in right after you got on board, right? So
before my time, actually. The channel dates back to 2012, and then we really ramped it up when I was hired full-time in 2019. We started doing more explainer videos. We started experimenting with short-form content, and then when shorts actually released on the platform, we were really able to optimize and dive into that. And all of our event coverage, when we would go to conferences in Washington, New York, Denver, Berlin. And then after COVID, we had to pivot. We started doing all virtual webinars. And then when Ryan was brought on board a few years later is when we decided, let's really blow this out with a second channel, the Insight Jam channel. And that's, I think, where we saw really explosive growth. Because one, we had doubled our entire production team from me to both of us. And two, we had sort of taken all the steps and optimization strategies and SEO that we learned with the first channel. And rather than trying to bolt on to a channel that was 12 years old at that point, we were able to start from scratch and really have a clean runway under us in terms of the algorithm.
When we built the Insight Jam, we were very much keen to highlight not Solutions Review staff or Insight Jam staff, but really highlight industry experts, independent analysts, consultants, and other vendor executives. But that was really, I think, Ryan, as we think about how we got going, and I remember thinking at the time we started, well, it'd be nice if we could get to 50,000 subscribers in a couple of years. But let's start putting up a bunch of content and see what happens.
Yeah, and it proved a lot more popular than even we were expecting. Knowing, I think the people we had on and continue to have on, the thought leaders that you mentioned provide a valuable service, and I think for us fill a niche that wasn't really being filled on YouTube. There's not it's a pretty specific niche, enterprise technology thought leadership, and no one had gone to YouTube with it before, so we were able to fill in that gap and capitalize on it.
We made a conscious decision to really double down on the collaboration of other experts. And it wasn't just we had one or two on, we had hundreds of experts on that channel over the last 2 years. And I think if you are looking for that one-stop destination, Insight Jam has basically everyone under the sun that has made any sort of noise in enterprise tech, AI, data and analytics, cybersecurity. We've spoken to all the people that matter and had them as guests on our podcasts, on our panels, or on YouTube Shorts. And I think that's part of it is sort of the volume, just the sheer like content swarm that we've played, like a coverall version of bingo here. And I think that's a big part of the success we've had is just a relentless content swarm.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, how many videos did we upload in the last 18 months at Insight Jam?
Oh, if we're counting the shorts, I think it's over 800.
All right, so I want to pivot a little bit, and as I mentioned in the intro, talk about what we consider to be the 5 tips for building this sort of higher-end YouTube strategy. And quite frankly, I mean, this is probably from simplest to more complex. But first things first, you got to take control of this channel. That is the first piece of advice. And so, what does that entail when you first start to take control of a channel? What are you looking at? How are you thinking about it? And then what do you start to think about next? You do need,
I think, giving it to a single person to own it and curate it is important. However, and we'll talk about it later, the strategy needs to go beyond a single person, right? People change positions, people leave, and I think that's responsible for a lot of the abandonment that happens on some of these YouTube channels. It goes to, a marketing intern or, we brought on a social media team, that person leaves and didn't communicate.
The keys you want to look at when you're starting and you're trying to get control is that being deliberate is really building out a roadmap or a brand identity or some content calendar. It can't just be like a haphazard parking lot where you just leave things to wither and die. And it seems simple, right? To just say, be deliberate with your choices, but that's how you would treat the rest of your business. And YouTube can't just be an afterthought. It needs to be something that is a conscious choice, forward thinking. You're looking down the road 3-4 quarters at a time. And I think with that vision and just with basic planning and a specific team member that is owning that entire strategy by themselves, I think that gets you like 80% of the way there, really.
Yeah, and I would suggest that not everything on your YouTube channel is junk. I know we've kind of been lamenting the state of YouTube these days.
But it might be hard to find. It might not be categorized the right way. The thumbnail might not be optimized. It might just be.
That's right.
You could have great content, but if it's not accessible or searchable, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
let me jump us to tip number 2. And this is really where you guys have really stepped your game up and taken us to the next level. And that's this visual makeover, this kind of brand cleanliness that I think really makes a YouTube channel stand out.
Yeah, so in terms of visual makeover, I think it's not only important to lock in your brand identity and have really clean, robust, eye-catching thumbnails that accurately portray the value of the content someone's going to click on. Faces, bold text, bright colors. I think we've done a great job of this. Ryan certainly has on the Insight Jam channel, especially the Insight Jam podcast. You see the face of the expert that's going to be speaking. You see a pull quote, some emphasized text there, like you know exactly what you're going to get and how long it's going to be. But I think besides just the visual aesthetics and making a video look nice and convey what you're going to get when you click on it, it's also maintaining a cohesive and organized library that people can navigate quickly and easily. So it isn't enough just to dump every video on your channel. You need to have searchable shelves, different playlists, podcasts, use the different tools that YouTube has at its disposal and customize your channel layout so that when someone visits, they don't just see a long string of random items in the For You tab. They see each and every different series you've produced, from the newest to the oldest. They see the different channels you've collaborated with, and they can very easily dive in to the portal or to the show or to the vertical that you want to funnel them into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in terms of how to curate it, you want to think in terms of who do you want to serve with this? If it's existing customers, get tutorials out there, software tips, product tips. If it's sales prospects, have video of case studies and video about like what your company is about, so that they can comparison shop. If it's company culture that you want to support and potential hires, have things like day in the life of the company or what it's like to work here, things from a more HR angle. Start there, and eventually, as you get the rhythm of this, you can add on those other shelves.
All right, so let's get to number 3, which is, we're getting a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more sophisticated, but that's really the idea of creating a long-term video strategy here. So you've taken stock, you've taken over, you've taken stock, you've kind of thought through a little bit about who you want to support and what you have already existing. But now, in my mind, John, the next move here is to start building out long-term program thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I've been doing YouTube for literally 20 years at this point, and I've boiled all of my experience down to 3 C's. You want to have content, consistency, and collaboration. The first one, content, it does matter. You need to actually have good, valuable material that is made well, looks good, sounds good, and gives the audience some degree of entertainment or information. It sounds much, much easier said than done. But once you nail that, then you have to focus on the consistency, getting that type of content out, whatever it is, whether they're explainers, case studies, webinars, demos. Do that as often as possible and capture the audience on an ongoing basis and give them a reason to come back and to subscribe and to visit your channel multiple times. And if you can nail those 2 steps, the third one that will really help you grow and explode is collaboration. Find ways to connect with other peers in your space, other thought leaders, other experts, other creators who are doing the same thing you're doing, and have them on your shows. Invite them on your podcast, have them as guests on your webinar, have them issue an explainer video on your behalf. Get one of your best customers to share their thoughts or their reviews of your product. And if you can combine all 3 of those C's together, I think it's a really strong recipe for success, but definitely easier said than done, and it will take time.
On the collaboration front, YouTube's even added a collaboration feature in recent months where you and another creator can be the author of the same video. So if you haven't done that, that's a quick way to get your video in front of that creator's eyes and that creator's audience eyes, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's an excellent tool.
Point number 4 is this idea of third-party validation. So again, Gartner, in a recent report, B2B buyers report that they value third-party interactions 1.4 times more than digital supplier interactions. And I think what we have found anyway, being a third-party provider of content, both at Solutions Review and at Insight Jam, is that it does perform particularly well. But Ryan, you've done a lot of video with a lot of third parties, and we are a third-party presentation layer, if you will. But speak a little bit about what you think is the reason why that is notable, and how people can take advantage of it.
If all of your video content is about your company, it's going to feel like an advertisement, and I think it's not going to feel authentic or engaging to an audience. People are not going to seek that out. If you're doing research about a product, yeah, I might go look at at videos that a company put out there, but I'm not going to trust them as much as a third-party expert, a content creator who is just out there, say, reviewing software. I'm in the video editing space. I follow a lot of different post-production content creators. Sometimes they do things that are paid for by companies. Sometimes they're just reviewing things on their own. I trust those opinions a lot more because, one, they're doing the same work that I'm doing. They're facing the same situations. And two, I know they're not completely immersed in the speak and the culture of the company. They're, ostensibly thinking for themselves, and I'm going to value that opinion more highly. So, you want to collaborate with those kind of people.
And I think a great way for companies and YouTube channels to approach this is with customer testimonials, or by collaborating with a channel or an organization like Solutions Review that offers that third-party validation. We'll have you on our show and lend you our credibility to help pitch and sell your product. And with that third party there, 1.4 times users and customers are valuing it.
Well, and I think as well, it's my sense that that people aren't going to subscribe to your corporate YouTube channel if your corporate YouTube channel is only talking about your corporate solutions and yourself. And so, the way that traditionally marketing organizations and sales teams have used content in the past, not video content, is to create case studies and white papers and things like that present that third-party validation. They sometimes, get Gartner reports, or they get Forrester reports, or whatever it is, to present that third-party validation. That can be extended to YouTube and to your video strategy by simply, honestly, repurposing what you've already created as print material. I mean, creating a video case study, creating a video white paper. We pay attention to who's doing this well, and I want you to see what we believe is probably, in terms of just raw marketing and sales support, is HubSpot, and rightfully so. I mean, kudos to them. They're using YouTube incredibly aggressively to generate a massive amount of leads. But if you scroll down to this HubSpot YouTube network, this is where it gets really interesting. So they have a collection of channels, and this is, I think, where we're going to end up in this last point. Look at the way they're doing this. So they are using video not just as a corporate presentation on a corporate site, but they're using it now to attract their broader target audience. And they're doing it in a very creative collection of ways. And guys, I'll let you kind of dig in and talk about this a little bit, but I find this absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I think they're a great example of eating your own dog food. They not only provide a great service with their CRM platform, they're also able to show it off and show how their users all around the world are using it in unique and different ways. So every single video has that unique and personal touch that showcases different ways people are utilizing HubSpot to get ahead, to find an advantage, to optimize their company finances and their business. And it's all done through their product, and they're showcasing it through their channel. So it's a great and age-old marketing strategy for a reason. And I think in terms of the enterprise tech space on YouTube, they're doing it better than almost anybody.
So Ryan, I want you to drill down into the next wave
Yes.
podcast, which is another one that they've created here. So this is AI and the future of technology. Again, they're trying to dominate where decision makers are in this moment of AI. And when you click down into any one of these, they all have a call to action. Again, God bless them. And when you click down into any of these calls to action, you end up, if you click on that one, for instance, at a HubSpot landing page, which has a matching downloadable. It's a monster lead generation machine. Now, not every lead they're going to get is interested in the HubSpot CRM system. That's the beautiful thing about what they're doing. They're just going to kill it by volume. They are as sophisticated in terms of using YouTube as a lead generation machine that they are now buying podcasts, they are building out channels, and they are acquiring subscribers in a variety of ways because they understand that this can be used to support sales and marketing and generate an ROI. And I don't know, Ryan, you know more about this thing than I do. This is not a small undertaking. Would you agree?
No, I know that HubSpot has invested lots of money, millions of dollars, I'm sure, into their media department, their YouTube team. I think they have a director of YouTube even that we've seen talk about this. And yeah, it's a massive undertaking. If you look at all these different channels that they have, there are, each one of these shows, I'm sure, it involves hosts, it involves producers, it involves editors, production of all kinds. That stuff adds up both in terms of cost and in time. So their effort is not small in this.
And it's not accidental either. This was a clear strategy choice. They invested a lot of company capital into getting this to work over many years. And I think that's maybe the thesis of our entire discussion today is you have to want it. You can't just put some videos up and hope they go viral and hope it works and hope you get leads. You have to really work at it day in, day out with a consistent and a deliberate strategy using all the stuff we talked about today.
Well, and I guess the final point here is that you can't sleep on it. I mean, we all would like, less work. We would all like to have, only a few channels that we have to worry about. And we've all, except for some of the league leaders, have on the whole, what we see across most of enterprise technology YouTube channels, because we see a lot of them at Solutions Review and Insight Jam, is that most companies are sleeping on this. And you just can't. You have to get serious about it, and you have to get serious about it right away for any number of reasons. Your buyers are on here watching other videos. They are going to be on here watching videos of your competitors. We would encourage you to engage with us, to talk to us. I mean, one of the reasons why we're so excited about it is we have some pretty strong opinions, if you haven't picked up on all that. And we think we can help. We think we have a couple of channels through Solutions Review and Insight Jam where we can help you build a credible third-party programming that may complement your main corporate site. You should absolutely get control of the main YouTube channel.
And also, I should say, don't forget to watch Insight Jam Live, our biggest event of the year, on the Insight Jam YouTube channel. We'll be broadcasting panels with thought leaders and keynote speeches all week long. 2 weeks from now, when you watch this, it's a great event and really looking forward to it. So please check that out.
John, Ryan, thanks very much for doing this today. It's great working with you, and very much looking forward to all the other things we're going to do in 2026.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
Well, there you have it. Another solution in our spotlight. I want to thank Ryan and John for doing that with me today. We appreciate your attendance as well. Until next time, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review. Thanks for watching.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.